Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Jennifer Whiteside. I'm BC's Minister of Education and Childcare. And to start, I would like to invite Elder Dr. Roberta Price from the Coast Salish territory of the Snuneymuxw and Knowledge Keeper Les George from the Tsleil-Waututh Nation to come and provide a welcome.
Haijka, thank you so much, Jennifer. So I'll start us off in a good way. Haijka, Siyam, Siyaya, greetings and welcome everyone. As Coast Salish matriarch and elder, I wish to give a very warm thank you to all my relatives on the Musqueam, the Squamish, and the Tsleil-Waututh for welcoming me to live in the unceded lands of my relatives, Musqueam and Richmond, going on 42 years now. As Coast Salish matriarch and elder, I wish to give each and every one a very warm welcome who live, work, and play, give and receive service, teach and learn, and now celebrate today on our unceded, ancestral, and occupied lands of my relatives, Musqueam, Squamish, Tsleil-Waututh. As taught to me by my beautiful elders in the Longhouse, the person who travels the furthest is the first person to speak on the floor and open the floor. And this is why I'm starting you off in a good and respectful way, following the teachings of our elders. Also, want to gift my dear relative a small gift and thank him for allowing me to speak on the unceded lands of both of our ancestors here. Osiem. And I just want to say that I'm calling upon the Creator and the ancestors to bring many, many blessings down upon this very beautiful, beautiful event today, blessing all our grandchildren and our great-grandchildren. Haijka, Osiem. Thank you so much, everyone, and thank you, Jennifer. I'll pass it over to you, Les.
Thank you, Jennifer. Welcome, everybody, to the unceded territories of the Musqueam, the Squamish, the Tsleil-Waututh. When we gather like this, it's part of our teachings that when we gather like this, that we open with a song. So I just like to share right now a song with you, and it's our Tsleil-Waututh clan song, The Wolf, Takaya, Osiem. And if I can call my bro Rob up to sing with me. Osiem.
Thank you so much, Elder Dr. Price and Knowledge Keeper George, for sharing your wisdom with us today, for starting us off in a good and respectful way. Osiem. I'm very thankful at the opportunity to gather on the territory of the Coast Salish peoples today, including the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh nations, to make this fabulous announcement. And I'd like to start by welcoming today's speakers. BC's Minister of State for Childcare, Katrina Chen, our Federal Minister of Families, Children, and Social Development, Karina Gould. Welcome to BC. Kathy Poole, Vice President, Children and Youth Services for the YMCA of Greater Vancouver. Tanya Kubels, a parent with children at Cascade Heights School and Child Care Center. And welcome to all of the federal, provincial, First Nations dignitaries joining us today. And it's so wonderful to be joining here with so many friends and neighbors and colleagues. Thank you to everyone here from the YMCA of Greater Vancouver, the Burnaby School District, the City of Burnaby, who are hosting us here at Cascade Heights YMCA Child Care Center. And I want to just note that in 2020, Cascade Heights Elementary received over $1.7 million through our New Spaces program in order to create childcare on school grounds. And it is so great to be here today, not only to see how these spaces are benefiting parents and kids in the area, but to bring more good news for parents throughout British Columbia. And just before we get on to the announcements, I do want to say just to the students at Cascades, go Tigers, go. They did a fabulous job winning the basketball championship 3 years in a row. And that is just a real testament to the fabulous work done here for kids at Cascades Heights Elementary. And just ahead, just as we were coming into the back to school season, I wanted just to note that we, in terms of supporting parents and families in British Columbia, I announced one-time funding of $60 million to school districts that will be passed through to families of K-12 students who need it most to help with the cost of back to school. And across government, this is part of an affordability plan that we have to help make life better and more affordable for British Columbians through reducing auto insurance, increasing minimum wage to the highest level in the country, eliminating medical services premiums, supporting food programs, meal programs, and supply programs in our K-12 system. And earlier this month, our government also announced a further supports, including $600 million to British Columbians through the BC Benefit and Climate Action Tax Credit, as well as a cap on rent increases of 2%, much lower than projected inflation. And today we have more really important and wonderful news on how we're helping families to save money on childcare. Since the introduction of our Child Care BC plan, we've been working hard to make childcare a core service that parents can rely on, and to make sure that high quality, accessible, and affordable childcare is available to all families who want it. And we are moving towards our goal of $10 a day childcare for every family by reducing fees for parents and supporting providers. And to tell you more, I want to invite our representative who has led the development of this plan in British Columbia and done so much incredible work, our wonderful Minister of Education, Minister of State for, I almost give you a now, Minister of State for Childcare, Katrina Chen, to say a few words.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Minister Whiteside, and just really honored to be here with you, and just want to thank the elders again and for your warm welcome and recognizing that we are here gathered on the unceded traditional territories of the Hunkaminam and Squamish speaking peoples. And it was interesting this morning when I woke up, the first word that came into my head, well, other than my son's foot kicking around, yeah, we still sleep together, other than him moving around in a bed, the first thing that came into my head was the word connection. And just, as a newcomer myself and an invited guest to this beautiful unceded territory, the connections that I personally made throughout the years through my work, and so honored to be able to do this work, the connections we've made across government. It's so amazing to welcome Minister Gould back here again. And she, of course, is also a mother who understands the importance of childcare. The connections I have with Minister Whiteside on the education and childcare piece, the connections we have with parents, with childcare provider like YMCA. Thank you so much for hosting us, and thanks to your professionals and early childhood educators for being here with us today. And also the connections we have with the school district here. I cannot be more than proud of the school district from Burnaby here, who's hosting us here today with the childcare on school ground and the partnership we have with the school district. I see the school board chair, Jane Mazzi, trustee Larry Hayes, Gary Wan. I think I saw Bill Bressington as well. I hope I didn't miss anyone. And also thanks to the principal and all the professionals for bringing us here together today. I also see some reps from the childcare sector. The connections that we've built really have brought a lot of support and services that families need and families need to count on. And when we talk about the connections, I cannot thank enough the early childhood educators and childcare providers who have been connecting and working and partnering with government to deliver services that family desperately need. And for example, our fee reduction program that we introduced in 2018 through our Childcare BC plan and our big 2018 budget that focused on childcare, that the fee reduction program currently have over 96% of spaces across BC joining this program. And that is a huge, huge achievement. Thank you. Thanks to all the childcare providers who are willing to partner with us, 96%. And that is why today we're so happy that after years of work on childcare, accelerating the creation of spaces, bringing down the cost of childcare, and also supporting early childhood educators, today we're going to take a step further, thanks to the federal partnership, to deliver more savings to parents. So for providers that are part of our fee reduction program and parents who are attending the 96% of spaces across BC, we're happy to share today that we're going to cut fees again by another $550 more per month per child on their childcare savings. And that's on top of the $350 per month per child that we are already delivering the reduction to families, which brings the total up to $900 per month per child savings to families. I know, when you think about $900 per month per child, that is huge. And imagine if you have 2 kids attending childcare, and that's a huge saving for families that, because of the connections and the partnerships that we have, we're able to deliver to families by December 1st. So every day as we're doing this work to continue to save childcare fees for parents, to deliver the spaces to support early childhood educators, I want to tell you that there was a mother that I met in 2018, and her story always stayed with me. She was a single mother with 2 kids, and she told me because of childcare costs that was so high for years and because of the childcare chaos, she went through a really challenging time not being able to return to work because of lack of affordable childcare. She had to put her job on hold for a few years, having to come on income assistance. And finally, she was able to go back to the workforce after her children go to school, public education. And every time I think about her story and think about, for example, $900 she could have saved, and probably more because she has 2 kids. If that savings were there years ago, this could have saved her career. She would not have to be forced to be left the workforce, and she could have been supported. And I remember she telling me that it was not just a financial struggle for her. It was such an emotional and social struggle for her that she had to went through because of the lack of affordable childcare. But we are changing that. We have been changing that since 2018 with our Childcare BC plan. We will continue to accelerate the creation of spaces. We've currently, for the past 4 or 5 years, we've already funded and supported the creation of 30,500 spaces, including this one here on the beautiful school ground. And we will continue to support early childhood educators, because without early childhood educators, we're unable to fill those quality spaces that we're delivering to parents. We will continue to build a wage grid on top of our wage enhancement. That's $4 an hour supporting early childhood educators. We're looking at bursary programs, dual credit programs, and all the other workforce initiatives that we can pull together to make sure we are going to make childcare a core service that family can count on under our 10-year Childcare BC plan. And to all the parents, I want to tell you, as a mother myself, we feel you. And as ministers and as all the colleagues in here, a lot of parents who have been struggling with childcare, we feel you. We understand that childcare is critical for our economy, for our young children, and for our family's well-being. And just this morning when I was dropping off my son noticing me practicing for this event and everything, and he said, "Mom, you're going to another childcare again," because we actually just went to one last night. I have the best job in the world that I go to so many childcare. And I said, "Yeah, I'm going to another one again." And it reminded me how when he was young, he used to see me being in childcare centers and playing with other kids. And he used to be so jealous. He was like, Mommy, you're playing with other kids again. But this morning, he was different. He said, Mommy, have all the fun with all the kids. And I cannot tell you just that transformation that I see from my son. It reminds me, and, as our elders have shared, we need to continue to learn, and we need to learn from our young children. And with challenges, it comes with opportunities. And I think with the connections we have with our community, with across government, we can bring the services and make childcare affordable, high quality, inclusive, and the core services all families can count on. Thank you so much.
Minister Chen, thank you so much for the fabulous announcement, but also for that beautiful story about the transformation you're seeing in your own life. And the theme of connections and relationships, which I think is so important and just underpins everything that we're doing here. You see this beautiful childcare center. You see what we can achieve for children and families when we're all working together. And it's I'm so grateful to see so many partners from our K-12 system here as well today, from the school trustees, from the principals, principals and vice principals, from our labor partners who support the work that workers do. All of our K-12 partners are so excited about the opportunities that we have now as we are working in a much closer and much more integrated way on childcare. So thank you so much for those reflections. I want to say, too, that in terms of important connections and relationships, the federal government is a huge partner in this program. And it is thanks to their commitment and investment that we are able to deliver these additional savings to families. So with that, I would like to give a warm welcome to the Honorable Katrina Gould, the Federal Minister of Families, Children, and Social Development, to say a few words.
Thank you so much, Minister Whiteside and Minister Chen, for having me here today. And a big thank you to our elder and knowledge keeper for starting us off in a good way. And I think you did a great job, because I think there's lots of good to be shared today. And of course, thank you to the YMCA, as well as the school here at Cascade Heights, for inviting us to make this important announcement. This is my third time in Vancouver this summer. I'm so happy to be back in beautiful British Columbia. There is an incredible partnership going on. I think Minister Chen spoke so perfectly about that connection and what we can achieve when we work together. And what's happening here in BC is that working together, from ECEs to childcare providers, municipal governments, school boards, the Department of Education, the provincial government, all the way up to the federal government, really working together to deliver for families. And today's announcement is so exciting. BC, as was mentioned, started on this path back in 2018 with a bold investment and a bold vision. And at the federal level, when we decided in budget 2021, budget 2021, that we were going to make a historic, transformative investment of $30 billion in early learning and childcare, BC was the first province to see that vision, to understand what those opportunities could mean for families across this province, and was the first province to sign on. So through this $3.2 billion federal investment and initiative over the next 5 years, including the work that the province of BC already had underway, we're able to make this really exciting announcement for BC families today. And I like to talk about childcare as a home run, because it's good for our kids, it's good for our families, and it's really good for our economy. You know, back in 1998, when Quebec went from, being the first province to bring in affordable childcare, they went from having the lowest female workforce participation in the country to now having the highest. They actually have the highest proportion of women with children under the age of 4 that are working full-time in this country. That is a huge achievement. So when we're thinking about what these affordability savings mean for parents, it's also important at a time when Canada has the lowest unemployment rate in our history to make sure that we're providing opportunities for work. And Minister Chen's story about that mother who had to step out of the workforce because of the high cost of childcare is not unique to her. We hear about that all the time. Childcare costs are often the costs of another mortgage. They're often more what you're paying out of pocket than what your take-home pay is a month. So for a lot of women, and let's be honest, it disproportionately impacts women. It impacts them economically, not just in that moment, not just for their families, but over the course of their lifetimes as well. And so I'm really excited about today's announcement in BC, because not only is BC doubling the number of $10 a day spaces available for families, but they're also providing additional savings, $900 a month. When we talk about the high costs of living, when we talk about inflationary pressures, that's $900 a month that is going to go so far to helping families. You know, economist Ricardo Trajon said the other day that this is an inflationary fighting mechanism because it's going to those who need it most. It's going to families who are going to be paying for the high costs of food, who are going to be buying those winter coats and those winter boots. It's not something that is going to increase inflation. It's actually going to help. So when we think about childcare and the initiative, $30 billion from the federal government, plus what BC is doing, this is the most transformative social and economic policy our country has taken since the bringing in of Medicare. This is huge. It deserves a clap. And it's thanks to those partnerships. It's thanks to that vision and that working together from the ECE right up to the Prime Minister that we are truly stepping on to, I think, what is a nation-building endeavor. And so we're going to continue to work with the province of BC and the work that they're doing to support ECEs and the high-quality endeavors that they're doing to make sure that spaces are accessible and inclusion. But today is a day of celebration. Je suis vraiment contente d'être ici à Colombie-Britannique, de célébrer cette journée, de célébrer tout ce que ça veut dire pour les familles d'ici de Colombie-Britannique. Et le gouvernement fédéral continuera d'être là avec eux jour après jour, justement pour réaliser cette rêve qui, comme j'ai dit en anglais, c'est un pas transformateur dans notre société, dans notre économie, pour les familles dans la Colombie-Britannique. Et je veux féliciter tout le monde ici pour cette initiative. Thank you to Premier Horgan. Thank you to Ministers Whiteside and Ministers Chen. Thank you for having me here, and I can't wait to see the outcomes of this great investment. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Minister Gould. And thank you for sort of placing this development in the sort of transformative context that indeed it is, because this announcement and the work that we've been doing in British Columbia that is supported and in partnership with the federal government is about the economy. It is about equity. It is about labor force participation. It is about building better, stronger communities, better, stronger economies for all of our communities. And it is indeed a day of celebration. So I wanted to note as well that from the big transformative system sort of approach to this, right down to what we see happening here. And it's so wonderful to hear the kids. I don't know if the people are picking this up, but it is so wonderful to be here and hear the voices and the laughter of the children who are benefiting from this childcare center. And so I want to just turn it over to one of our really important partners in making all of this possible. So I'm so pleased to introduce Kathy Poole, Vice President of Children and Youth Services of the YMCA of Greater Vancouver, who's not only hosting us here today at this beautiful childcare center, but who is also leading such important work caring for and educating our youngest citizens. So Kathy, please come and say a few words.
Good morning, everyone. On behalf of our childcare team and the entire YMCA community, I'd like to express how thrilled we are to participate in today's special announcement. Thank you to the elders for the very meaningful and special welcome. I'd also like to recognize Minister Gould, Minister Whiteside, and Minister Chen, as well as all the other dignitaries here today. Your ongoing work and commitment to providing quality and affordable childcare to more families is inspiring and truly appreciated. The YMCA couldn't be more excited to come together with both levels of government to help even more children and families thrive. Speaking of families, I'd like to thank Tanya for spending her morning with us. As one of our Cascade Heights childcare parents, I look forward to hearing you share what today's announcement means to your family. I've been working in the childcare sector for over 2 decades, and I know how important quality childcare is to families. I've had the opportunity to speak with many parents to hear about how grateful they are to have access to quality childcare, knowing their children are learning and growing in a safe, nurturing environment. What is also true for a lot of these parents is that it continues to be a struggle for them to afford the childcare services they so desperately rely on each and every day. That's what makes today's announcement so significant. It is exciting to know that beginning December, government will be providing direct funding to childcare centers participating in the fee reduction initiatives, further lowering fees for families of children up to the age of 5. The YMCA is proud to continue our partnership with the government of BC and join other providers to deliver these savings to such deserving families. As access for affordable childcare grows, we know the need for more professional early childhood educators will become even greater. The YMCA celebrates the Government of BC's ECE Education Support Fund, which has greatly supported individuals who are entering the field of early childhood education and for those who are looking to upgrade their credentials. I know some of our own educators have benefited from this, as well as the wage enhancement initiatives. We are grateful to the Government of BC for these critical investments in support of the recruitment and retention of our early childhood educators. The YMCA also applauds the Government of Canada for its announcement of the $625 million Early Learning and Childcare Thank you. Infrastructure Fund in Budget 2022. The YMCA has seen that by working together, the Government of BC and the Government of Canada have been able to reach agreements that have led to record investments, and today's announcement is a shining example of what can be done when the well-being of children and families is at the heart of that work. We know there's more work to be done and more to accomplish. As the largest provider of licensed childcare in BC and in Canada, the YMCA looks forward to furthering our work with all levels of government to create a long-term, sustainable childcare system and together help the generations of children and families reach their full potential. Thank you.
That's great. Thank you so much, Kathy. And I think we can indeed say that the winds are fully in the sails of this transformation of childcare. Thanks so much for Kathy and for all of the work that you and your team do. And of course, in terms of connections and relationships, it's parents. At the end of the day, really, it's all about parents and kids. And so it's so wonderful to have Tanya Kubels here with us today, a parent here at Cascade Heights, here with her family, to tell us a bit about what this means for you and your family. Come on up, Tanya.
Good morning to everyone. My name is Tanya Kubels. I have 3 kids. One is attending this daycare, and I have other 2 kids in the elementary school. So these news are amazing. I'm shocked right now with the amount of money that we are going to save. Right now, we are experiencing inflation, high prices on food, gas, and other things that it really is making us to lower our costs in our expenses, on our monthly expenses. So that it's making us a little bit of financial stress. So I'm really happy to hear this news, and I'm very thank you with the government because it's working with all BC, with the daycares to make possible this affordable childcare for all families. As the minister mentioned before, I remember when I was younger and I had my 2 other children, and we couldn't afford for the daycare. It was a hard time, and I stayed home with my kids, and I need to stop studying or working and everything. It was amazing time with my kids. But now with this new fees, reduction of new fees, make possible to other parents to pursue their careers, to continue studying or working on whatever they are doing. For my family, this subsidy will have a huge impact. We can continue. Sorry, I'm just a little bit nervous. We can continue supporting our kids with their extracurricular activities. We can also be able to make higher contributions to the post-secondary school, allowing our kids to be graduate debt-free. And that's very important for my family. And also they can begin their college without the pressure of costly debt loans. I hope this initiative of more affordable daycare continues to spread all over the province, as it will provide many families relief on high fees. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Tanya, for sharing your story. Very well spoken, very well. All of the contribution and advocacy that you are also engaged in elementary school and childcare. I off well for kids and families, so that as they go all the way through their life journey and their educational journey, they have that really solid foundation. And that's what centers like this really help parents establish for their kids. So thank you so much for your reflections. And I know that everyone who works in childcare, whether at the government level or at the provider level, is going to start to soon, hear more good stories, good news stories like this about the impact on families. Because really, at the end of the day, this is all about the children, the families, strengthening our communities, making life better, ensuring that we have a prosperous, quality environment for kids and families. So thank you very much, everybody, and we are available to take questions.
Thank you, Minister. We will now take questions from the location first and then go to the phones. Minister Chen, can you come up to the podium for the questions? Media on the phone, please do press *1 to line up for questions. There will be one question and one follow-up. Also, media on the phone, please do not mute your phone. You will not be audible until we call your name. The first question today comes from Reagan Hasagana, CTV. Reagan, go ahead, please.
Good morning. So this benefit does benefit families that have younger children. What about families with children older than kindergarten? And can you also give us a status update on the $10 a day program?
Of course. We started the work with where the fees are the highest, which is under 5, especially infant toddler is quite expensive across BC communities. So that's the work has been focused on with the under 5 care, especially with the federal investment. But September 1st next year, we are going to expand our fee reduction to all the school age kids. As a parent who has a son in before and after school care, I'm so excited about that. And I look forward to continue to expand more initiatives. And it is really important to note that the fee reduction program is one of our 3 major programs. So we have the fee reduction that's partnering with providers across the province, not income tested. Parents don't have to apply. It's automatic reduction on parent fees. And again, it's going to be up to $900 savings for families, depending on the age and the type of care. And then we also have the Affordable Child Care Benefit Program that is income tested up to the income of $111,000. So a lot of middle income families can also benefit from that. And a lot of families are already paying $10 a day or no cost at all under that program as well. And then we also have the $10 a day dedicated sites. That's really popular across the province. We're going to more than doubling the spaces by December as well. So by at the end of this year, we're going to expect more than 20,000 families benefiting from $10 a day, with thousands and tens of thousands of families finding savings in childcare fees.
Do you have a follow-up, Reagan?
I do. So what is this particular program going to be costing? Where is the money coming from? And why did you decide against non-income based?
So with the three different affordability measures, we've learned a lot. We need to work with providers to continue to have this partnership so we can lower parent fees as we provide support to providers. Actually, as part of this announcement, providers already know that they're also going to get significantly enhanced funding to support their operation as well. That we need to recognize providers does put in a lot of time and a lot of efforts, and the cost has been going up to provide quality care as well. So we need to support providers. And then we know non-income tested and a childcare model that makes childcare a core service is really critical for families' well-being, because all families will be benefiting from returning to the workforce, being able to have more options for their housing and other cost pressures. And then we also know from our $10 a day site that we've learned from the past 4 years that every dollar we invest, for example, right here in BC, already have $2.6 economic return. So investing in childcare is really good for the economy, and the budget that we have through our provincial budget, we've already spent I think our current budget is over $1.6 billion. And then with the federal funding, that's over, I think, 3.2 over 5 years. It is really significant. Provincially, we're still taking the lead on the plan, but we want to continue to make sure the investment will benefit families and our economy. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. We're going to the phones now. The first question over the phone, Dirk Meissner, Canadian Press. Dirk, go ahead, please.
Hi, Minister. Are you able to say how many children are in non-licensed daycare in British Columbia?
We can definitely provide that statistics, but we do have startup funding that's supporting licensed not required childcare to become licensed care. We do want to make sure we enhance the minimum standards for quality care, and that is really important. So we do encourage all childcare providers to, and the ones who are not yet licensed, to utilize our startup funding, take advantage of government funding to make sure they get operating support as well, and also fee reduction. And by the way, just a correction, I think our provincial funding is $2.6 billion over 3 years. Thank you.
Thank you. Doug, do you have a follow-up?
Sure. I didn't hear a number there.
We can follow up on the detailed question in terms of the number of unlicensed spaces. I don't have that from the top of my head. Sorry.
Thank you. There are no other questions at this time. Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you.